my favorite maps.
We're learning kinks today.
It's like you.
I am.
Jules Mafia.
Nerds, man.
That will f your bitch. On a regular day, RFK approved.
It's like titties and sports.
HR does not exist anymore. Now we're good. That's why we got that nice mic now on top, because I learned lessons.
Don't want to miss anything.
No.
Yeah, Boy Scout.
Everyone ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unsubscribed Podcast. I'm joined today by Eli Doubletap, Mr. Kevin Brittingham, Brandon Herrera, and myself, Donut Operator, also known as King Trout. It's like I can still hear his voice.
Donut died.
Tragic car accident.
It just starts like that. It's like, God dang.
The death of Donut.
Okay. There we go. Now we got it all buckled in. It is cold. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Dude, it's a boy Kevin back. Kevin, it's been, what, a year? How long
Two,
ago?
maybe. I don't know, a year and a half.
It's been, at least a year.
We had just moved into this house, I think.
Takes
I
forever.
wasn't sure.
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
I'm drawing blanks. Drawing blanks. It was good to have you back, buddy.
Nice to see you.
Then we accidentally ran into each other.
Yeah. The Boston live show. We're like halfway through our second string of the live tour, and we're heading to Boston. And or excuse me, we're heading to Boston from Atlanta. And then I see a guy across the bar. I was like, damn, that guy kind of looks like Kevin. And then we do the whole like Spider-Man meme, like, hey, wait, oh, it is Kevin. But where were you coming back from?
Well, General Herrera, I was
God damn it.
Africa. So yeah, we were just flying back from Africa. We were doing some, testing, hunting, shooting, good times. So yeah,
very nice.
It was weird to run into you guys all at the bar. Well, it was not strange to run into you at the bar, but at the airport, flying the same place. Yeah, so it was cool.
We might, you missed the Boston show. You're like, I'm going. And then we started day drinking, morning drinking, let's be honest. And then fly drinking, and then landing. And then you were pretty spent after that.
Well, I think so. Look, we'd been hunting in I'd been in Africa for probably 6 or 7 weeks, and then the flight's very long.
I'm gonna put that right here.
Yeah, the mic is closer now.
Treat it like a dick. Now we're good. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, so no, I was so hyped to see you guys. I want to come down to the Boston show, but then halfway back, when I land in Boston, it's an hour to my house, and halfway there, I'm falling asleep, and I'm like, I've been traveling for like 36 hours. There's no way I'm
Fuck that.
going to Boston till 2 in the morning.
No hurt feelings on that one. Fuck that travel.
So I apologize, but I really wanted to see you guys, but not that badly.
Yeah, same. Dude, the traveling is so taxing. It seems like an easy thing. You're like, oh, you're only landing and talking to people and then flying and landing.
Come on, hurry up.
Everyone is dead by night 3.
Shit cooks you.
Well, yeah, that. When I come home from Africa, it's a fly from the ranch, 3 hours to Johannesburg, and land and go through all there to go through the airport with guns and all the things. Then fly 17 hours to Atlanta, and then land in Atlanta, go through all that shit again. Then fly 2.5 hours to Boston, and then drive an hour. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Nah,
It's
fuck
worth
that.
It's like titties. It's worth it.
I ain't flying that far for titties.
No. Well, you're just not committed to being heterosexual.
You see my gun?
This guy wouldn't fly 17 hours for tits.
See what I mean?
That'd be fucking miserable.
Fuck.
But we had a really good day today. Just warning, this is gonna be a very autistic episode with just find out. Brandon's so hyped for it.
Finally.
Tried to get experience it, but it is very rare to have a firearm actually just surprise the shit out of you like that. From the weight to the recoil to the sound. Side by side, the shooting machine guns all suppressed without ear pro, and it was.
You're right.
Move to the objectives and secure them.
Which
When the sector
rifle
is
was
secured,
this?
we'll push the Americans into the next one.
Well, before we say that, it's like at first when you started complimenting it, it was very tough. And I was like, wait, you expected it to suck or not be great? And it's like, you know who the fuck I am? No, so it's the boombox, and then we were shooting a contract version of the Honey Badger that's select fire and only subsonic. And oh, they are so good. The boys did a good job.
They are dialed, and you're like, how much do those weigh?
Well,
Fully
the
loaded.
Honey Badger is probably 4.5 pounds, and the boombox with 12-inch barrels under 6. No, how heavy are they? 5.5. What about the 8-inch gun? So 5 pounds. It takes a 308
We are attempting to take
mag.
Alpha 2.
I mean, you guys felt it. 8.6. I mean, those are big, heavy bullets, and how easy is that gun to shoot?
Just for reference, I held it out with one hand. It was just going like that.
Yeah, but look, you work out.
But it is like fucking Finn. He got behind the gun.
Yeah.
He was like, "Is it like what's it gonna?" He shoots it. He's like, "Oh my god, it is a 22."
The
Five
boombox?
bucks? Yeah, like the 8.6.
What? So, to anybody who may not know, what is the boombox?
Well,
Our forces
it's
are
all my
soaking
idea,
Alpha
design,
2.
and hard work. Mitch did none of it. So it is.
I too am extraordinarily humble.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Just
you
flip
shot
'em
there.
up.
It's just the greatest gun ever. You know, we did the Honey Badger a long time ago, and that was to replace the MP5. So a 9mm subgun with rifle capability that still is quiet with subsonic ammo.
I'm only using this stick thing because I need to level it up.
It's the next generation of that, in my opinion. It's an AR-15 size, a lightweight AR-15. It takes a 308 mag, and it's in 8.6 blackout, the cartridge we developed. So, you know, 6.5 Creedmoor case with a 338 bullet in it. So you can have a 400 grain subsonic bullet, or down to 160 grain supersonic. So you can shoot people at 600 meters, or with subsonic at 300 meters. And it's slightly larger and heavier than the Honey Badger, and it just the operating system that Mitch Diddens worked on for several years now. It's you're shooting that round, and it feels like you're shooting an MP5. But
Alpha
it's
2 target.
I don't know what 30%, 40% lighter than an MP5. So it's pretty remarkable. I think it's like what all the things we try to do. You know, it's like I was telling them today. We only have production and sell guns to fund the R&D.
It's the level of slap. You cannot say how hard it was hitting that the hostage target. You know, the floating head.
Yeah.
It fucking slaps that motor.
Like the dueling tree, like the spinners. It would smack one at the very top, and all of them would just shake and jostle like on the entire tree.
And it feels like you're shooting like a 45.
I don't get impressed by many guns anymore. And you know how that is. Just you shot everything under the sun, and it's just like, oh, like that's cool. Like certain things can be cool, but they don't really impress you very much. I was impressed because it was quiet. But how big the round is, I mean, you're shooting out of a 308 magazine. It is probably, especially in full auto, that was more controllable in full auto than some 5.56 guns I've shot. And still lighter than a lot of the 5.56 guns.
Yeah, you're holding on target. There's 20 rounds you could hold down, and we were like 30 yards. How far were we? 20
One of
yards?
our objectives is being invaded.
30 yards, all full auto, just and they all hit the steel.
great.
And it is very loud. The only loud part is the steel getting sucked.
Well, thank you guys so much. I mean, I know we're all so proud of the programs, especially with my attitude.
Leroy.
I expect us to do stuff that no one else has done, and I expect us to be awesome. But it is, no matter my expectation, when you go to the range and you shoot it, that's where the proof is, right? And then other guys like you guys that know guns and shoot a lot, when you're that excited. It's because it is different. You can't fucking fake it. You know, it's like it looks like an AR. It's just not. Everything on it is different. It's years out of Mitch's life and a lot of the other engineers that helped him work on it.
I got him in there.
You're
taking the checkpoint.
Do all of the work, and it's a pain in the ass. Like getting that last
Maybe we'll go
5% that makes
dancing
the
with
gun
wolves.
special.
With the
When you
horse.
pick it up and shoot it, you know it's different. Like that's all the hard work.
And that's even something as simple as the charging handle that you were talking about. Like even something that they had to walk that in. That was one of the hardest pieces, correct?
Sector is secure.
Charging handle, like shit. You just don't think. I was like, well, it needs to seal. I'm assuming it was to seal better.
Latch and replace because the gun's so light. It's very high recoil for a lightweight platform.
High recoil. Liar.
Well, initially, but yeah, then how soft
Wait,
does it
no.
shoot? You know, and I mean, it's one of those rare things where you have ultra lightweight and compact, very shootable, you know, low recoil and easy to control. It doesn't make any sense, but again, the only way you
Secure
get
your
there
objectives.
is just devote years to going that extra little bit.
It's like the triangle where it's like you have low
get
recoil,
'em.
lightweight, and heavy caliber. And normally you can pick any two.
Yeah.
You can't get all three. And that somehow has all three. And that was the coolest part of it. to me.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
think it is too, and I think it's all a testament to
my
really
fault.
our engineering department and the hard work and just the dedication of we are going to do this no matter how hard it is, and as long as I can afford to pay everyone every month,
attacking
like
objective
we're going to
Bravo
go
1.
until the gun's right. You know, and we've said before we could have shipped it a year and a half or 2 years before we did, but the gun is so much better waiting. So not having, you know, as the guy that owns the company, I get to make the decision, right? And I would rather wait and it be awesome. Because, you know, I want that HK reputation to where if we put something out, you're going to buy it, you're going to know it's good. You know, and that takes a long time to develop that reputation, but we can't compromise for like quick money today. And every gun that we do, every new project has to be better than the last one we did, no matter how good it was.
hell is that?
And that's how we're going to earn it, you know. And I feel it now. I mean, we all do it in the company now. And we've got 17 engineers in the company now, which is pretty incredible. And you know, which causes me not to get a pay raise ever. But it's the great thing, you know. Like I much prefer like what we're doing and to win than you know just the money today. Like I don't ever want to not work, so I have to own the company because I'm probably
Our
unemployable,
troops are assaulting
and
Bravo
I have
1.
to control the company because then we can make those decisions. You know, you don't have finance running the business and saying, "Shit, we got this much money invested, we got to get a return now." You know, investors like I don't have investors saying that shit to me.
It's like we were talking about earlier, like anytime like a founder leaves or sells a company or dies, things start going to because as soon as you leave that stuff up to a board, they're not here for what will this company be in 10 years. They're usually here for how do I show the best Q3 return.
Margins. I want margins. And you get that. And you're saying you have that 17.
I got
And that's it.
someone.
And then
Assault
you're
initiated
out
by
at the range with us having the black. But these they are like breaking down the gun of like, hey, we need to refine it. We need to make it better. And instead of like the AAA studio where it's like, well, that's close enough. We'll fix it as we release Gen 2, Gen 3. You guys are like, no, make it perfect as it releases. And then you guys are. Anyone that's watching it's like, you can't wait to buy one right now. They're fucking backlogged. Yeah. They're like, how many backlogged right now?
It's thousands at this point.
It's a good fucking place to be.
Yeah, and it was shocking to us, really. We know the gun's awesome,
even
but it's,
have it.
you know, MSRP on the gun's $4,400. So it's like
Without the suppressor.
without the suppressor, it's like how many can we actually sell on the commercial market? And then, you know, this is the beginning of the gun because this is just 8.6 blackout 12-inch is all we have out now. But there's an 8-inch. You guys shot the SD today. So 6 Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, 308. So it's a whole weapons platform that we'll do because it's just a switch barrel. You don't even have to. Did you guys see all that stuff today?
No, we didn't take it apart. Well, we broke it down and field stripped it, but we didn't take the barrel out.
Okay, yeah, so the barrel comes out. It's not a traditional AR with the barrel nut and everything, so you can just switch it to a different caliber. Sort of like you can with the Star.
Not know that.
So, but a much better system. And,
It
you
was.
know, it's all tied together. Just, the gun is a whole system. Like we're talking about, it's the stiffest rail ever on a small arm. So, and being that lightweight, so, you know, for the military guys with lasers and stuff like that, you load the hand guards, you're not doing POI shift with it. And so, you know, these guys also develop the test. Like the Geisley hand guard is very stiff, and some others on the market military.
We captured the
So we had to
sector.
devise the test for
From the
reflection
hills.
and then return to zero of the hand guard. And so we do all this testing, and we'll release it in a documentary about development of the gun. But we have to develop the fixtures and the testing. Like the government's not done this, so we do it and then we show the government. And it's like, yeah, so this doesn't return to zero, and this does, and this is why this is designed this way. You know, a lot of people love the LMT, right? Cool gun, so that one-piece receiver on the board, but it makes it big and heavy, and it's
Push
no
them
stiff.
out of this sector.
And you know, having engineers and doing that development and developing these tests, and then we go. You know, Mitch, like I said today, isn't afraid to come to the range with you guys because he's done so much testing. We know what the gun is.
I have a dumb question.
Sure.
So you've developed rounds and rifles, so the 8.6, 300. But do you develop like the Honey Badger around the 300 Blackout, or did you develop a round and then created a rifle in regards to that? Does the round come first or the rifle?
It's a chicken or the
It's
egg.
an
age-old question.
It's a good question. And what happened was 300 Blackout, we were asked to do it. Basically take 300 Whisper, and it wasn't reliable.
Which I'd never heard of that round.
Really?
Yeah, I did not know that was a thing until you said that today.
Yeah, and we did that for a special operations group here in the U.S. And
Which one?
yeah,
The one.
the best one.
That was great. The best one.
Well, Terry's here.
Terry's just waving at the camera.
I have two children that I love a lot, and one's blue and one's green. And you know, when the blue one's here, you say they're the best. Yeah, and so they asked us to do it, and we built. So we did the round, and basically we just need to. The problem with 300 Whisper was it used 308 bullets, and they were too short and too wide, so the OJI was wrong. So the front rib in the AR magazine will push it to the center and away from the finger ramp. And then when the bullets are too short and doesn't take up the full magazine, they move in there, and that also induces malfunction. So we needed to do bullets that were the right length and shape to feed reliably. And that was pretty much what the engineering work was.
Which is hilarious because a lot of people that make 300 Blackout now do the same fucking shit. That was the problem in the first place.
Hornady just released 2 years after they loaded the first round.
Objective captured and secure.
12 years after 13 years after they loaded the first round.
Fucking year is it?
But they just this year released the first actual 300 Blackout round. They're
Jesus
still
Christ.
selling 300 Whisper with the 300 Blackout on the
Why
box.
can't I hit anybody?
And then people bitch at me about it not being reliable. Send me a picture of your ammo. Yeah, well, that's 300 Whisper. Like, yeah, it doesn't. Because, so 300 Blackout mags, the mag pull and everything off,
Charlie
those are
Boy's being
actually
attacked
300
by
Whisper
US
mags.
forces.
Because the front rib that helps align the cartridge, half of it is cut away for the 308 bullets. So we did 300 Blackout to work flawlessly with 5.56 mags. So if you use an actual 300 Blackout ammo, it goes in 5.56 mags. 300 Whisper goes in 300 Blackout mags. So it's all fine, right? There wasn't a standard. Anyway, we did that, and we sold uppers and silencers to this organization to go on their guns, which were HK AR variant gun. And so after they adopted it, I go to his brother and I say, "Yo, you know, your brother
Gun
just
on this.
got uppers for their guns. How about you?" They're like, "No, we don't need that."
18.
And so, being the two groups I worked with a lot, I knew their inventory
Crap.
life cycles and
That's
stuff.
some
I was
lots
like,
on.
"You're not going to tell me no, this is great." And so we did the honey badger, the first prototype, in 2 weeks to take to them. And I took it to them to shoot. And it's like, what is this? And it's like, well,
I can't
here
take
you
it
go,
out of
SD
the
life cycles
vehicle.
up. So here's like a rough prototype gun that we built for a concept. We can do, you can replace that with a 300 Blackout. So that became the honey badger. We did a special gun for them. And that's sort of how it happened.
And that is why a no is really a yes. Kevin Brittingham.
Short answer, round first.
Objective Charlie Hawk secured.
That'd be wild going from like a 9 mil to 300 Blackout. I was like, yo.
I wasn't paying attention where I was at.
What the fuck is this thing?
And it was almost half the weight of the MP5.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy. What kind of MP5s were they using? The SD?
SD, which is right at 8 pounds,
Metal oil.
It's not light.
Heavy bitch.
and the original prototype Honey Badger with the silencer was 4 pounds. So
Okay, this much. That's enough.
once we got to delivery, the gun was heavier. We made the silencer longer, and we wanted more rail space. So the gun
It's
was heavier.
fast.
Still with the silencer is 5 pounds.
Wow. And Brandon, you yesterday, can you compare all the audio stuff you were doing?
Enemy forces attacking Charlie 1.
It's a great story. We recorded some audio for some really cool people over
Come
at
here,
Drive Tanks.
dude.
And it was just really neat to be included and see. Oh, actually, to tie it in, it was neat to see how sounds
Got him.
record audio for gunshots, weapon cycling, brass landing, things like that. And that brings us back to what we first talked about, I think, when we first had you on the podcast, is how a lot of your collection was used for the sounds of movies like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. That's been so long now. I think that was 97. And then Black Hawk Down, Pearl Harbor, Band of Brothers.
Which I just watched Black Hawk Down again on the flights when we were doing the Unsub Live tour. I always forget, like it's always a couple years and then I watch it again. Just how good of a fucking movie that was.
That's wonderful. Causes me anxiety. But the sounds, it is cool. Like it's extraordinary because this was Skywalker Sound that did all of the sounds for those movies, and just the detail,
Troop strength diminished. Deploying of reinforcements.
just how difficult it was. Everything shooting into all kinds of materials, and then the brass and the links landing on different materials.
Yep.
All the bullet impacts. It was pretty cool.
It was really neat the variety that they would do because they had like I don't know these people had like 40 microphones out there at different distances, several attached to the different guns that were being shot, and they had like multiple channels at any point because they're like, well, it's gonna sound different if somebody is
Objective lost.
in a window
Not taking
versus
control.
next to a wall versus outside of a window.
We're
versus
still here.
outside.
We're not, like I said, we're not that old. We don't
Sounds
need
to
checking up
make
on
sense.
every hour.
I don't know. I just appreciate when people have that kind of attention to detail because they don't have to.
That's
They-
how you get the best product.
Save
Watch any
me.
war movie up until Private Ryan, and then watch that movie.
Yep.
Like the sounds scare the shit out of you in that movie. Like it's so realistic compared to every other war movie I'd seen up until then.
Because in the 80s, like Rambo 2, Red Dawn, like those are some of they're great movies,
Hell there.
but they're 80s movies. Like the sound is
Enemy
fucking
has
dog
secured
shit.
objective
Dude,
Charlie
that
1.
was the first
Oh,
one.
they took
You
them
see
both?
that, you seen a photo, and it's just, I was like, there it is. You get to see all the cool equipment into like one single sound. And that is tens of thousands of dollars to record those individual sounds and the level of detail they go in.
And those guys are masters of the craft.
Oh,
I wish I could talk about who it was, but they are really good at it. And they were like, we don't get the return on investment to do this, but we want to. We do it because it like fucking love the game. They're like, we want to do this.
You need to watch those guys. A really good one is Godzilla, the 2008 or whatever one, a recent one.
Of course, he brings the Godzilla.
We have
Dude, the
captured
sound
an
design,
objective.
the sound design of
on,
even the
bitches.
monsters were like, oh, well, how is this thing gonna breathe? If we run a piece of rubber over a basketball,
An
that will be
objective is
that
under
little
siege.
sound. And then slow it down.
Foley stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's one thing. It's just like hundreds of layers to get one piece of audio, and you're like, God dang, would have never thought. Just layer on layer on layer.
Nerds, man. That's the people that do that shit.
Have you always the A6? Have they picked it up already to be in any of the video games, or are you just gonna snag it and then you're gonna find out
No,
later?
I did work with Infinity War that does
Oh.
some Call of Duties back
I
a
glitch.
dozen years ago.
Oh, shit.
But
No,
I
that's
don't know
not
what's
done.
happened there, but they stopped calling it the Honey Badger. And it wasn't because of me. Like, of course, I wanted to use that Honey Badger. They changed all the names. And
I can actually tell you why on that one.
Yeah.
So this is, at least to my understanding of it, from what I've been able to pick apart, that they were named as a plaintiff, one of the people that was sued after one of the school shootings. Because it's not the shooter's fault; it's obviously the fault of whoever made the gun, who made the ammo. I think at one time they sued whoever made the gun safe. that they stored their guns in, and they're suing the violent video games, and they're gonna sue every fucking person under the sun. But it was enough that
Thank
all of
you.
these attorneys were scared shitless, and so they were like, they want to be seen as working or collaborating with gun companies from that point.
Damn it.
I know I did it originally, and so I still had that relationship when I went to SIG, when I worked at SIG, and they were absolutely against. I could not work
shit, I
with
forgot to see
video
if
games
there's a tank.
because they were afraid of marketing to children, was what SIG told me.
No, well, I guess if you're an attorney, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're a lame ass attorney.
Is what led to
We
the
can spend half
development
our
of the
resources.
8.6?
You know,
An objective
my
has
kids
come under
like
our
Terry.
control.
Yeah.
Could not maintain control of Charlie
You know, it's. I mean, seriously, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's bigger, better. Like it feels better,
Yeah.
and you know,
Have you seen it
I've not.
in person? Do we have one in here?
Get
It's
around.
fucking rad. If we can compare it to like a 5.56 or anything.
But yeah,
US
always
forces
trying
have
to
captured
do
an
something
objective.
that like the guys don't even know they need yet. Or they don't know it
Put
exists.
up the
And not waiting for
drone.
solicitations, trying to develop product for them to make solicitations around. You know, like I spend half my life hunting now. Like I'm in Africa 6 months a year, and all I do is kill shit all the time. And part of that is like I want my buddies to have the best chance possible to go do their stuff and all come home. And so we think about that constantly. And the good part of that is, you know, not everybody hunts, right? But there's self-defense or home defense and all this. And, you know, it doesn't really
Get it.
discriminate.
Get 'em.
200-pound whatever. And,
200-pound anything.
yeah.
It's a lot of shit weighs 200 pounds.
A lot does.
Because it feels like not many companies or people are like in round development.
Fly the
No,
drones,
we
man.
probably
They
actually
help.
do more than a lot of ammo companies. Here's the
Turn
thing, we
the
build the
tide.
system. You know, and it's not that we want to develop cartridges. Like, just like I don't want to design a trigger, you know, because I don't want to have to spend 2 years doing drop tests. But if what's
The
needed
sector is
doesn't
now under
exist,
our control.
then it's an opportunity for us. And I think, too, the best thing I've done in my career is surround myself with very good people and manipulate them into getting on the bus with me and doing the thing that I want. You know, like I want to accomplish this thing that I can't, that I gotta have all these nerds do it. But yeah, but then it's the real thing. And so I have to keep them engaged. Like, Mitch is a
New
real smart
objectives
kid.
marked.
But oh
Now
my
we capture
lord,
this
that
sector.
engineering department, those geeks. And it's so, but trying, what you realize when you get to a certain level of developing guns or silencers or whatever the thing is
No,
what you
attacking
really
Delta
want
One.
is the whole system. And if I'm not controlling the ammo, you know, or if we don't make the magazine, it's the most vital part of the gun a lot of times. And so it just sort of, I don't know, you get halfway down the road and you gotta turn around or you gotta go on.
Yeah, one thing leads to another type thing.
But
Can I see
seeing,
one of those 8.6s though?
seeing how successful
Where's the
300
round?
Blackout was,
Which
but
one?
knowing we could,
We have
the theory of that whole thing is good.
Yeah,
but we
I'm
could do
gonna
better.
save ya.
Is a 300 blackout and an 8.6 Connor. That's a 300 blackout, which is your 8K, your 7.62 grain.
Or your
Quick fix the news, man. I'm bored
Yeah,
with
actually,
that.
comparison.
and that's 8.6 blackout. Holy.
And that's one of them expanded.
Yeah, the expanded looks fucking
So we
crazy.
have 5.56, 300 blackout, and 8. That's 8.6.
Yeah,
And it's just as quiet as 300 Blackout.
But
Like, you're
hits.
not-
that's after it's been pulled out of an animal. That will fuck your bitch.
Yeah,
Now
that thing
attacking
is just
Delta One.
rotating. And now what's more crazy is your standard AR is probably like 1.8, 1.11 twist rate, right?
Oh, we get to talk
5.56. Yeah, I know. So you're looking at
Hit him with
So
the
you're
target
looking at
designator,
every
make him back up.
11, 10 inches, it will rotate a single
Shoot ya.
time. And then you guys were like, no, let's keep the speed at 900 subsonic, but
Dude,
let's
you're
just
right beside
rotate
me.
it. Every 3 inches it rotates. And then you have this fucking
Take it 2
rotation
seconds.
that opens up at that speed. So you have a
Yeah.
drill bit.
There's a lot of good things to the fast twist.
Snoopy, blow yourself up.
You know, the bullets will expand on impact now rather than being 6 inches inside of something. And yeah, you think about that turning, if a human is 15 inches here to here like a grown man, you know, if it's a 1 in 10 twist, by the time the bullet expands, it's going to have one rotation inside the body, so that cutting surface. But
Connor, that's the bullet.
with
Just
line
kidding.
3, it turns
That's
5
the-
times.
Holy hell. Yeah, it looks like you're putting a bullet next to somebody.
It is, and the fast twist is actually like having high speed on it.
Yeah, a bullet next to a 5.56 round. Holy hell.
So like
It's just the bullet next to it.
I explained it poorly on a previous podcast, but talking about like how you're able to get more energy out of it because you're doing rotational velocity and not linear velocity.
Yeah, so we can't really create more energy, but it's more efficient use. And rotational energy, so a subsonic rifle cartridge,
Oh,
it has to,
there you go.
can,
Get up on me
maximum,
and
let's
get
say
it.
it's 1,050 feet a second,
We are down
generally,
to
to stay
hot
subsonic. So you can't go faster in that direction. But if we spin the bullet faster, you have to stop a bullet going this way and this way. And the rate of decay of rotational velocity is much slower than linear velocity. And people don't think about like a 16-inch 308. It might be 2,600 feet a second or 2,500 feet a second. At the muzzle, at 850 yards, it's probably 900 feet a second.
Well, it's kind of
Well,
sad
if you
people
shoot
spawn and
8.6
bail out
blackout,
and
you
get
would
the
never shoot
objective, but
subs
whatever, dude.
1,000 yards. You have 160 feet of drop. But
You can direct fire at that point.
yeah, so yeah, but it'll be 1,050 feet a second at the muzzle, but at 1,000 yards, it'll be 900 feet a second.
We
So
are attacking
yeah, it's
Delta
faster
2.
than
Holy
308
shit.
supersonic once you get to like 800 yards, like linear velocity. So subsonic bullets don't slow down. That's why you get really good penetration with them. And the fast twist also helps with penetration, just like you think about a drill bit speed. So like you'll get, that probably shot a zebra and probably got 30 inches of penetration.
Dude, what are you
well,
doing?
it didn't pass through because we recovered. But yeah, I shoot Cape Buffalo.
Subsonic. Drop. I'm assuming pretty quick.
Well, I will say I just shot a week ago. It was into it within a couple seconds at about 40 yards, and it was dead before I shot it, and probably less than 10. And for a Cape Buffalo, like that's
We have
the most
occupied an
durable
objective.
animal you hunt.
Out of curiosity, I know it's not designed for that, but
Freaking
how does it do on
113.
armor?
Well, this is the first time too. There's subsonic armor piercing.
Come again?
There's subsonic armor piercing.
Against what? What kind of armor are you able to penetrate with it?
Well, we'll see once it's all done.
Oh shit.
But
Redacted.
but that's never happened, and it's so quiet. Like you guys shot it and heard it. You think
Yeah.
about being able to pop somebody at 200 yards with that and penetrate armor. So there's a lot we can do with that.
I'm speechless.
I mean, think about like the nano explosive stuff with that. There's so much, capacity
Initiating assault on
in a bullet
Delta
that
1.
size.
That's a lot of payload.
A lot of payload. So it's a new capability, right? Like
The bullet is the size of a 223.
I'm trying to figure out where do you put the powder around it? Again,
That's
that
fucking
is
crazy. But literally, it's the size. The bullet is the size of the fucking cartridge.
yeah.
again, it's slapping. It is somebody, a human, just punching the steel plates as hard as possible.
And we had to do the whole system because we needed 308 size mags to get this cartridge because we wanted everything shot, 99.9% of everything shot on the planet in the capacity is inside 300 meters. So the goal was what's the
One of our
most badass
objectives
thing
is
we
under
can do
attack.
for 300 meter. So we want 300 meter subsonic. And so AR-10s traditionally, like a 308 size gun, are big and heavy, 10 pounds. So the problem was the gun, and then also the ammo. So the ammo had to be a compact, lightweight gun.
So, for clarification's sake, you developed the boombox around 8.6.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you had the fix. You were like, okay, so let's do this now.
So you developed the rifle around it.
Yeah, like we
Bring me back to life, save me.
200 blackout, but it's. But when you think in terms of replacing a submachine gun, it's incredible. When you start to see how useful it is, but then it limits. Like with subsonic for 300 blackout, it's really 100 meters, and supersonic is really 300 meters. We need more than that, and so
The
this
enemy
is
has
that
taken
answer.
Delta 2.
I remember talking to you about this probably 2 or 3 years ago. I was with all of my employees. Like once a year, we do like a lake house like vacation essentially, just like a week off. We just fuck off somewhere, off in some lake house in Indiana.
Hey.
And it was a couple of years ago, and we were talking about it, and we were just on speaker with my boys, and we were just kind of talking back and forth because a lot of my like more engineer-minded employees, and you were describing 8.6 and like